Hello everyone to the Jewish Week Online. I'm your host, Aaron Herman. Where does the Hava Nagila come from? We had the opportunity to speak to Director Roberta Grossman about our new film, Hava Nagila, the movie. Let's take a closer look.
Hava Nagila have two, Nagila have three, Nagila, they're pretty small.
Tell me, what is Hava Nagila?
Is it a dance? Like the polka?
It's some sort of celebration song.
La 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 la. They sang and danced at my bar mitzvah, but other than that, I'm clueless.
It could be some kind of food, nagila. That much I know.
Relentless, it's resilient. But then again, so are cockroaches.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, non-Christian friend.
That song is immediately a connection back to tradition and community. One that just takes me back to a sense of, well, that's who I should be, or that's who I'm supposed to be.
It is a melody that evokes new life and hope and joy. And that's a wonderful symbol for the Jewish people to have and for the rest of the world to think of as being a Jewish symbol.
When I went anywhere in the world, there were two songs that stood out. One was Deo and Hava Nagila.
It was a song that would run through my head.
People would say, "You have any Jewish blood in you?" And I said, "Yes, I'm 10% Jewish on my manager's side."
Whenever it would start, everyone would just get happy.
Touching moments that I loved in the movie was when you actually saw Hava Nagila being sung in different parts of the world, and how it really transcended a Jewish type of song, and people would just embrace it from Mexico to Benefante, just belting out the Hava Nagila. It was just amazing to see. How do you go about, I guess, putting it all together so that you could tell the story of Hava Nagila?
Well, I mean, we really set out to do is to tell the biography of a song. Hava Nagila is the hero of the story, and basically it's a classic story structure. We were following the hero's journey from origins in the Ukraine as a Hasidic Nigun, emigrating to Palestine, coming to the United States, making it big in the United States, crossing over, and then asking the question, like in the Jazz Singer, okay, now that Hava made it in America, did it lose its soul? So that's the basic structure, and using Hava as a stand-in really for 200 years of the Jewish journey.
Was there anything that surprised you during the course of putting the movie together? Did you sometimes when you putting together the movie, you have like a certain vision? But did anything surprise you during the course of putting the movie together?
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise was that it ended up in part being a film about the Holocaust after all. That it really, I saw the 50s and the 60s in a new way through the lens of Hava Nagila, and realized that, where maybe me and, many, many other people saw American Jewish life in the 60s 50s and 60s as perhaps being somewhat shallow or watered down. But, American Jews are really dealing with some very heavy stuff. On one hand, dealing with the the rebirth of the state of Israel and what that meant for American Jews who didn't want to go there, and more importantly, or not more importantly, but also dealing with the Holocaust and coming to grips with what had happened. And I think Hava Nagila was a response to both those very big historical events.
There's a scene when you were explaining the intricacies of the Hava Nagila, then connecting with the Hora, and then towards the end is like saying like how Hava, like it came back, but it was like people were fighting against the Hava, which is, I don't know, it for me it's a little bit weird. I don't know why people would fight against it. What do you think?
Well, I don't think people actually fought against it. It just, that was one of the things I wanted to find out. Once I started looking into Hava and realized that klezmer musicians really hate Hava, I wanted to find out why. It didn't really make sense. It had its origins as a Hasidic nigun in Eastern Europe, which is, where klezmer music comes from, from many different sources in Eastern Europe. And so I really didn't get it. I thought it was just sort of a silly attitude or prejudice, whatever. Then I came to understand really what it meant, and that Hava came to represent everything that people from the klezmer revival didn't like. The watering down of Jewish culture, in part the way that Israeli and Hebrew culture washed out or swept aside Ashkenazi and other Jewish cultures that had been very vibrant in the United States before that. And then also as musicians who were trying to revive klezmer music and the whole rich tradition of Eastern Europe, the fact that every time a klezmer band would go to a wedding or bar mitzvah and want to play all these fabulous songs they were resurrecting, they were just saying, well, just play Hava Nagila, and then people would be satisfied, and that's all they wanted in terms of Jewish culture, in quotes, from those musicians. So it became a joke among klezmer musicians, and Hava became a symbol of some very frustrating realities.
And when you look at the scope of Jewish music, and even in the movies, you always, when there's that Jewish scene, the Hava Nagila is brought. Why do you think, to this day, it is such an important part of our Jewish culture?
I think it's very joyful, and I think it's a time when people come together, literally and figuratively. And I think also that there's some power in Hava that maybe is beneath the surface, that maybe because Hava has rolled its way through Jewish history from the flowering of the Hasidic movement in Eastern Europe, the conscious creation of a Hebrew culture in Palestine, before statehood, this heyday of American Jewish arrival in the United States, that Hava has a lot of layers to it. And I also think that maybe because it began life as a nigun, maybe it has some spiritual layer to it as well, and also it's a great tune. And then once you've done it once or twice, you're not only doing Hava, when you're doing Hava or doing the Hora to Hava an event, you're remembering the previous occasions. So it's something that builds on itself.
You showed this, how Hava kind of evolved over time. Where do you think Hava Nagila will go in the next century? I really don't know. Actually, when you were asking the question, I was imagining a little Hora on the moon or on Mars or something like that. But I think Hava will not disappear. I think that just like we still do, certain Jewish families, Jewish religions still, there's traditions that are 2,000 years old. I think that Hava is going to work its way in, if it hasn't already, as being part of the tradition and not simply a song. What was your favorite Hava Nagila? That's asking me to pick between my children. Oh, I guess if I'd have to pick, I'd say Connie Francis's Hava Nagila. I just love the way she did it. The idea of Jewishness and how it blends with society is kind of interesting in terms of the way that music sort of definitely transcends the way that people connect to each other. How do you think Jewish music is able to do that? I don't understand the question. Jewish music is sort of it incorporates so many different Jewish values, but basically how the non-Jewish world is able to take that and make it their own, and able to then connect their their constituents or their people to it?
I mean, I guess if you're talking about Hava, I can answer the question. If you're talking about Jewish music, which is so diverse, I'm, by far an expert on that. But if you're talking about Hava and why Hava crosses over, I think Hava crosses over because it's a joyful song, and it's a great tune. It's a hit on the global jukebox.
And you've been to a number of festivals, and how has the audience received it?
It's been really quite overwhelming. My experience so far is that people walk into a theater, a group of diverse individuals, and within 5 minutes of watching the film, they're, at least at the Jewish film festivals, a Jewish community having a Jewish communal experience. And people are laughing, and people are touched. People are remembering their own lives through the lens of the film, and it's been really a very warm embrace.
And where can people see the film now?
The film opens tomorrow, March 1st, Friday, March 1st, at the Lincoln Plaza Cinemas. Opens March 8th in Florida, 10 different theaters. Opens in Southern California, March 15th, and then it will roll out from there. If people want to find out where to see the film, they can go to the website havanagilamovie.com and check it out.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
really
it.
was a fantastic film.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Bye.
As you can see, the Hava Nagila is embedded into our Jewish DNA, and it is also a great tune to party to. This is Aaron Herman. Thank you for watching.